Jimin suddenly speaks frankly, but Jungkook isn't ready to hear him. What is this thrilling secret? Check out a surprising and full of emotion story. An hour ago, an unexpected moment occurred between Jimin and Jungkook, two BTS members who are known to be very close, both as colleagues and friends. In a conversation that took place without any prior preparation, Jimin suddenly overflowed his heart openly and unfiltered. However, Jungkook's reaction surprised everyone. He looked unprepared, even a little shaky in the face of such frankness. We all know that the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook has often been in the spotlight, from their chemistry on stage, sweet interactions in various BTS content, to the warmth of their friendship that makes the ARMY feel so close and connected. But this time, it wasn't the chemistry on stage or the adorable moment that made the headlines, but rather a jarring confession. What did Jimin say? What has been hidden all this time? Why isn't Jungkook ready to hear that? And more importantly, how can this moment change the dynamic between them? The conversation took place in a rehearsal room, away from the glare of the cameras and the stage crowd they were used to. Jimin, who is usually known to be friendly and cheerful, suddenly looked serious and seemed to be struggling with feelings that had been pent up. The words that came out of his mouth were not ordinary sentences, but a confession that had been closely guarded in him. Jungkook's visibly shocked and stammered reaction shows that he really isn't ready to face that reality. The usually exuberant eyes turn confused and full of questions. Will this ruin their relationship? Or will it just strengthen it? When a K-pop star like Jimin reveals his personal secret, the effect is not only felt between the two of them, but also vibrates in the entire community of fans who have been very loving and supportive of BTS. Many soldiers immediately flocked to find out what really happened, trying to dive into the meaning of Jimin's confession and how Jungkook would respond in the future. Some fans have speculated that this could be related to the pressure Jimin has been feeling, whether from the heavy demands of a career, social expectations, or even personal things he has never revealed publicly. Meanwhile, Jungkook's unpreparedness can be understood as a form of empathy as well as confusion over the new burden they have to face together. The surprise that emerged was not only about the content of the confession, but also the timing and the way Jimin chose to open everything right then and there. Usually, they are very private and speak carefully so as not to cause misunderstandings. But now, Jimin chose a different path, daring to open the window of his heart despite knowing the consequences. This raises a big question. Is this a sign of a change in Jimin? Does he want to show a side of himself that has been hidden? Or is it an attempt to mend a relationship that may have begun to fray without realizing it? From a psychological point of view, this moment is very interesting because it shows the complexity of emotions and the dynamics of interpersonal relationships between two very close but also very different individuals. Jimin's honesty is a form of courage that is not easy for anyone to do, especially under the pressure of the public spotlight. Meanwhile, Jungkook's unprepared reaction signals the adaptation process he is undergoing to understand a new side of his best friend. Many fans and analysts began to scrutinize every second of the video and the statements that have emerged since the incident, trying to find clues and signs of what is really going on behind the scenes. Some feel this is a positive turning point for them, where they can be more honest and open. But there are also those who worry whether this could be a source of conflict that damages their bond. Emotionally, this moment touches many layers of the heart, not only for Jimin and Jungkook, but also for the fans who have always looked at them as role models and friends who always bring joy. Now, a mixture of emotion, worry, and curiosity hangs in the air. How's the continuation of this story? Will Jungkook find a way to accept and understand Jimin's honesty? Will the two strengthen their bond of friendship? Or will they face an insurmountable challenge? What can we learn from Jimin's courage? And how will Jungkook's reaction inspire the millions who idolize him? As time passes, we can only hope that this spoken honesty becomes the beginning of a new chapter full of understanding and maturity. The world may be shocked, but in every relationship, honesty is the most important foundation for building trust and true love. This event will obviously be the subject of heated discussion, both among the ARMY and in the world of K-pop entertainment in general. One thing is for sure, this incident proves that behind the glitter of the stage and the camera spotlight, they are ordinary people who also have inner struggles and stories that deserve respect. Stay tuned for further updates on how Jimin and Jungkook's story develops after this shocking confession. Are there any major changes that will occur in the dynamics of BTS? Or is it just a moment that will pass and become a precious memory? Only time can answer. The tension that arises from Jimin's sudden confession does not stop at just a private moment of two friends. Instead, it has ignited sparks of controversy that spread rapidly to different sides of their public lives. The entertainment world that has been so maintaining the image and persona of its idols is now reshaken by an unexpected incident. Some are starting to wonder, is there a dark side behind BTS's glitter that has been deliberately covered up? Does Jimin's statement open the veil of secrets that have never wanted to be revealed? A number of sources close to BTS's environment revealed that not a few parties were worried about the impact of this confession. Some management were reportedly busy doing damage control, trying to anticipate a possible media storm that could shake the group's reputation. Since the beginning, BTS has been known for their perfect image, from discipline, cooperation, to harmonious relationships between members. However, this event forced the public and fans to face the fact that behind it all, they are also ordinary people who have conflicts and secrets that are not easily shared. Not only that, there has also been wild speculation about whether Jimin's confession is related to sensitive personal issues, including psychological pressure that has often been silenced by idols in order to maintain public image. The world of K-pop is indeed full of bitter stories that are often hidden behind resounding success. Is it time to open up more space for dialogue about the mental health and emotional burden of idols? Or will it be an unethical exploitation of the media? Meanwhile, Jungkook's seemingly unprepared reaction to Jimin's honesty also raises questions about how their relationship really is behind the scenes. Have there been any lingering tensions? Or maybe Jungkook felt betrayed for not being told in advance. Some have also suggested that Jungkook, who is known to be more reserved and protective, may have felt this additional burden could have disrupted his emotional stability. This then caused a heated debate among fans and netizens, some supporting Jimin's openness, others feeling Jungkook was too fragile to face reality. Some have even linked this admission to broader issues about the pressures BTS faces in the notoriously brutal industry. There are allegations that Jimin has borne a greater burden than the public knows, whether in terms of expectations, contracts, to personal matters that have never been revealed. The issue has opened a debate about the need to change a system in South Korea's entertainment industry that often exploits young artists without regard for their mental health and well-being. However, amid the controversy and speculation, what provoked the most emotion was how Jimin's confession might touch on things that had been taboo to talk about openly. Maybe it's related to identity issues, social pressures, or even inner conflicts that have to be hidden in order to maintain the image of a perfect idol. If this is true, then this event is not just gossip, but a historic moment that could change the paradigm of the entertainment world and fan culture. The biggest provocation comes from the way Jimin chooses to reveal everything without compromise, as if challenging the unwritten norms and rules in the K-pop world that has been very conservative. His courage can be considered a revolutionary gesture that wants to break the silence and open up space for change, but it can also be considered a rash step that has the potential to destroy careers and relationships that have been built for years. When the seconds after Jimin's shocking confession passed, not a few voices appeared questioning the motives behind the sudden honesty. Is this a deliberate strategy to divert attention from other issues that are being raised? Or is it just a form of mental pressure that has been hidden? Behind the seemingly open gesture of disengagement, there are cynical whispers that call the confession a controversial ploy to create drama in favor of a handful of parties. The entertainment world that has been full of intrigue is now getting hotter with speculation of all kinds. Furthermore, a bold question arises. Did Jimin deliberately choose this very sensitive time to reveal everything? A time when Jungkook was at the peak of his career and the pressures he faced weren't playing games, either? Some say this is like sowing the seeds of conflict that can destroy their friendship that has been considered solid. There are also those who see this as a form of defiance against the unwritten norms in the industry that greatly promote the image of perfect and flawless. In that context, Jimin's courage became very provocative. He not only opened up, but also provoked questions about the limits of freedom of expression of idols. Does a star living under the glare of cameras have to constantly hide her personal tastes and conflicts? Or do they have the right to escape the shadows of public expectations and show their true human side? This issue also divides public opinion. Some supported Jimin's bold move, but not a few considered the action as an unnecessary waste of reputation, especially at a time when his career was on the rise. Meanwhile, the spotlight is no less sharply aimed at Jungkook. His seemingly unprepared reaction is considered by some to be a reflection of the true mental fragility of an idol. Is Jungkook too young to face the harsh realities that are beginning to emerge? Or has he been living in an illusion that is now shattered by the confession of his close friend? In the realm of social media, there is also a heated debate about how the entertainment industry prepares young artists to deal with pressure not only from work, but also from often complicated interpersonal relationships. The provocation became more and more when a number of parties began to corner BTS's management. There were accusations that the management was too restrictive on the freedom of the group's members, provoking internal tensions that eventually broke out in public. They are considered to have deliberately created a depressing atmosphere so that idols feel trapped in roles that they have not fully chosen. Furthermore, there are rumors that associate Jimin's confession with hidden conflicts that have long blossomed behind the scenes, but have been covered up so far to keep the group's image clean and flawless. No less intriguing are the comments from popular culture observers who judge that this is not just an ordinary celebrity drama, but a mirror of the identity crisis that is sweeping the modern entertainment world. In an era where authenticity and honesty are increasingly sought after by the public, this industry loaded with falsehoods is forced to open up to the fight between what is real and what should be maintained as a mask. Is this the beginning of a revolution of honesty in the idol world, or is it precisely a marker of inevitable destruction? In the whirlpool of controversy, the emotions of the fans were at stake. Some feel betrayed because a big secret that has been hidden is now open. Some are relieved that finally the human side of their idol is openly recognized. However, there were also angry and disappointed ones, demanding further explanation and accountability for a decision that was considered rash and potentially damaging to the group's unity. Jimin's courage to speak frankly actually opened the door to dialogue that had been rare in the K-pop world, but also raised fears of potential destruction. Industries that rely heavily on the perfect image must now face the real consequences of the cracks that are beginning to show. Are the management and other members of the group prepared to bear the consequences? Or will they shut their doors? Clearly, this event has created a huge dilemma that is not easy to solve. On the one hand, there is a need for honesty and change so that idols can live more humanly. On the other hand, there is a huge risk that could befall them if the public and industry are not prepared to accept that harsh reality. This is the biggest challenge facing BTS and the entire K-pop entertainment world. Right now, all eyes are on how Jungkook will respond further, how the other members will put themselves in the vortex of this drama, and how the management will manage a crisis that suddenly appears so large and complex. Will they unite to make things right, or will they be torn apart by growing distrust and tension? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the world will never see BTS and K-pop the same way again. The most biting question now is, will Jimin's courage inspire revolutionary change in this harsh and stressful industry? Or was it just the beginning of the collapse of a kingdom that had been considered unshakable? The turbulent controversy not only tested the resilience of BTS friendships and careers, but also tested the values and hopes of millions of fans who have made them role models and sources of inspiration. In the midst of all the uncertainty, one thing that cannot be ignored is the emotional impact that hit all parties, from the members, management, to fans. The fear of loss, the confusion of the future, and the struggle between hope and reality create a powerful and electrifying wave of emotions. This is true human drama, far from the sparkle of the stage and the glitter of the camera spotlight. Will this be a moment of resurrection or destruction? Will the world be able to accept them as they are, with all their weaknesses and imperfections? Or should all be wrapped in masks, keeping the illusion for the sake of continuity of image and success? This drama has just begun, and no one can be sure how it will end. However, one thing is certain, Jimin's honesty has torn the veil that has protected secrets and falsehoods, forcing us all to face realities that are difficult to accept, but inevitable. And in that vulnerability, perhaps, lies a new hope, a hope for a more humane and honest world of entertainment. Proceed without bullet points with controversial and provocative things. ChatGPT. However, behind all the spotlight and drama that unfolded, there was also a strong insistence from certain circles who demanded that Jimin's confession be immediately forgotten and tightly closed in order to maintain the stability of the group and the K-pop industry as a whole. Those who resist this change argue that sobriety and an impeccable image are much more important than honesty that ruffles reputation and invites unexpected damage. They called Jimin's courage a reckless act, even betraying the principle of professionalism that has been the foundation of BTS. More provocatively, there are strong accusations that this admission is just a cunning maneuver designed to divert public attention from more serious issues, such as financial controversies and internal management tensions that have been neatly hidden. Some sources even came up with a conspiracy theory that management covertly arranged this scenario in order to keep BTS's image relevant and discussed, albeit at the price of a real internal rift. This kind of accusation sparked a heated debate that divided fandom and the media. Not only that, this controversy also opened a dark chapter in how the members were actually treated behind the